Hi, lovelies. Thank you again for joining me here at Underneath Her Skin. My name is Nicole, and I am here today with Miss Casbar, a lupus warrior. And we have been talking about lupus and trying to bring awareness to this disease that is affecting so many more people. And we just want to share that this autoimmune disease is something that basically affects the healthy cells and tissues are affecting your own body because it thinks that it's foreign. So please like, share, and subscribe to my channel so that you will not miss another video. Miss Casbar, thank you so much for joining me here. I feel like we have been having this amazing conversation about lupus, and you can tell us a little bit more. You have been diagnosed with lupus since for how many years now?
I was diagnosed on December 21st of 2012.
Wow,
So
2012.
9 years, almost 9 years, yeah.
Almost 9 years. And throughout the 9 years, if you guys want, I will definitely link the other videos to this one. It has been a lot of changes. And so I want you guys to stick around to definitely hear about, some of the changes and challenges that Ms. Caspar have been dealing with. And in this video, she's going to share with me right now, or with you, what is a day like for you living with lupus?
So I mentioned earlier, I every day when I wake up, it's something different.
Mhm.
Sometimes I feel like a hypochondriac. I always used to feel like I was, but now I'm realizing I'm not. Every day I wake up, I just don't know what to expect. I don't know if it's going to be a good day. I don't know if it's going to be a day where my legs are bad, or is it a day that my hands are really bad? Or sometimes I get a lot of headaches. That's a big lupus thing I didn't mention before. Migraine headaches and just headaches in general. Maybe that's an issue.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm just really fatigued. It varies. So I don't know how I'm going to wake up. And literally, like, I'll sometimes wake up and I'll like open one eye. I'm like, what's it going to be today? Kind of
Mhm.
keeps me
You
on my toes.
anticipate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am working and I have to get up and I gotta do what I gotta do. And sometimes that's the best thing because it really motivates me to move.
Mhm.
Luckily, this year, because of the pandemic, I am working from home.
Mhm.
In years past, it was sometimes a challenge to get myself like out the door, literally.
Mhm.
Uh, just to get dressed, and sometimes simple things are so difficult with this disease. Like I was explaining to my mother the other day, I don't like clothing that touches me. She was looking at me like I was crazy. But sometimes like the seam on a sleeve or
Okay.
something,
Mhm.
annoys me, it bothers me. So I tend to, especially again, because I'm home, I'm wearing very loose fitting clothing just because I don't want things touching me the wrong way.
Right.
And sometimes I'm fine and that doesn't bother me at all. So yeah, just that process of getting up in the morning and get functioning, I just don't know what to expect. And then I try to eat something in the morning before I start to work and before I take my medications.
Mhm.
But some days lately, my stomach issues have been really, really bad. And I feel very nauseous in the morning. And I don't want to be teaching, for 3 hours straight
Right. Right.
and get nauseous. I mean, it has come down to, and again, thank goodness I've been home and not teaching live at the way I used to.
Mhm.
But I've actually turned my camera off and thrown up into a cup off camera while I'm teaching.
Oh,
It's
wow.
gotten that bad. Yeah. I mean, and that's just taking it a whole other level. I'll be like, okay, excuse me 1 minute, and then I turn off my sound and my camera and I put it back
Yeah.
on and I'm fine again.
But what
Um,
what is causing you to throw up? Is it what you ate or not eating?
No, it looks like, well, part of it's the lupus stuff, but part of it is some of the new medications I was on for diabetes.
Okay.
That seems to have caused some of the newer GI issues.
Mhm.
Um, we're hoping that's all it was. It seems like it's beginning to subside because I've been on it now for a little while. But that was interesting. But anyway, yeah, then I teach in the middle of the day. Sometimes like sitting becomes very uncomfortable
Right.
and I have trouble in like a comfortable position.
Mhm.
I try to elevate my legs. That helps a little bit. But just that, like, even typing, like my hands get tired from the typing a lot or whatever.
Mhm.
So then after I finish teaching for the day, I try to do all my stuff very early on, like my chores, get my,
Mhm.
my laundry folded, or I cook my dinner or do some vacuuming, whatever it is, and get my shower over early. Taking a shower, I know this sounds crazy to most people, is the most exhausting
Oh wow.
thing ever. I
Mhm.
don't know why. Something about a shower just makes me like I need a nap after I take a shower. It
Mhm.
also really bothers my skin. I'm finding that that rash that I get on my legs, which is very typical lupus,
Mhm.
is very bad after a shower. And
Is
yeah,
it
I'm
because
just
of the
exhausted.
water temperature? Do you have to have your water be a certain temperature? Or is it the soap that you use or
No, I don't know. I've tried not using soap, hot water, cold water, moisturizing afterward, not using lotion after, shaving, not shaving. I've tried it all, and it's still there. It feels like little like needle pricks all over me, and it gets very uncomfortable. And when I get out of the shower, I'm very blotchy. You'll see like my chest, my face, my legs are very blotchy.
Mhm.
So for whatever reason, like a shower is the most exhausting thing. So I like to get everything done earlier in the
Right,
day
right.
because I call my witching hour.
Mhm.
The witching hour is when the legs go up and I'm done. I'm not
Mhm.
getting up anymore and I've got to rest at that point. So it's like kind of a battle to get everything in before
Before
that
that.
witching hour starts. But yeah, I find myself like, and not to be gross or anything, but I don't like to shower as frequently as I used to. I used to take
Mhm.
2 showers a day
Mhm.
prior to this.
Yeah.
And now ooh, and washing my hair too often too, because there's been an issue with hair loss.
Yes.
So in trying to less processes with my hair and less shampoo and
Mhm.
whatever it may be. And that seems to have helped a little bit with that.
Okay.
So
Wow.
yeah, and that's and then like I watch more TV than I ever used to. Thank goodness for Netflix. And I'm a big
Yeah.
hockey fan. I'm a
Oh,
tremendous
nice.
hockey fan. I used to have season tickets for the New York Rangers, and
Oh.
due to lupus, I actually stopped going, which is like one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. But I stopped going because the seats were very tight and there was a lot of stairs. And
Mhm.
again, before COVID, I
Mhm.
was getting sick a lot from being around too many people.
Yeah.
So, and that was setting me back. So I don't go to games anymore, but when they're on TV, it makes my day.
Yes.
They're actually going to be on it hour.
Oh, nice. So,
So
okay. So we know we have we have crunch time. So
no, no.
I know that you simply mentioned something, and I didn't ask you this before, and I wanted to know, have you actually contracted COVID during this whole time, or have you been just stay put?
Yeah, I have not. I've been very lucky. I
Awesome.
have not. My mother actually had, and my brother's home health care aide had.
Oh, wow.
Somehow my brother did it, and neither did I. So because that's the only people I've been around is my mother and my
Mhm.
fiance. So we were lucky we did not get it. But yeah.
Good, good. Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
I want to find out, we mentioned COVID and the vaccine. What is your stance on that? And do you feel like, I know before we mentioned it briefly, but I want you to talk a little bit more. Do you feel like it's something that you would take the COVID vaccine?
So I discussed this with many people,
Mm-hmm.
including my rheumatologist and my primary care physician and my cousins who are nurses,
Mm-hmm.
because I think they'll definitely give me, an honest opinion. And they all basically said the same thing. The benefits outweigh the risks,
Okay.
definitely. They feel that the question really lies in how effective the vaccine will be for somebody like me who's on so many immunosuppressants. And
Mm-hmm.
the other question is, will it put us into a flare?
Mm.
Um, a possibility with anything, that we
Mm-hmm.
take. That wasn't that big of a concern of mine, as much as the effectiveness and, if it was in any way dangerous. And it has not proven to be dangerous. For people who have had allergic reactions to other things,
Mm-hmm.
it's just taking extra precaution. I have had allergic reaction to medication before. So,
That is actually one of the questions they do ask when you're filling
yes,
out the
yes.
form. Yeah.
So I will, I had an allergic reaction to my first Rituxan infusion.
Mm-hmm.
So we just take precaution on that. That's not really a big deal. They'll just treat the way they treat me with pre-meds for the
Mm-hmm.
Rituxan infusion. They'll do the same for the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
But Johns Hopkins University is running a study right now, and
Mm-hmm.
they're testing see how effective the COVID vaccine is in people like me who are on immunosuppressants.
Okay.
And they to be a part of the study when I can get the vaccine. I'm just right now on a delay on getting the COVID vaccine because I have to do it after my second Rituxan infusion. I have to wait a few weeks afterward. So I would love to be a part of that study if they're still doing it then. And
Absolutely.
because that way I'll actually get the results that'll tell me how effective this vaccine is
Wow.
working on me. So I don't have a false sense of security
Yes.
going
That's
into.
amazing.
Yeah, it'll be really, they test you apparently before the vaccine, and then after your first vaccine, and then again after the second, and then I think it's 6 months later. So they keep testing you all along the process. And it's not just for the one strain of COVID, it's for all the different strains as well. They're testing the antibodies.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be, because again, it's a very specific study done through Johns Hopkins for autoimmune
Yeah.
patients.
Yeah.
So,
That would be great. And
yep.
I've also read or watched a video as well about another lupus foundation that um, administered the COVID vaccine to all their clients or patients, and they hadn't seen any adverse reactions thus far. So hopefully, I know that there's a lot that you have to deal with in general, and you'd love the outdoors. So hopefully this is something that can at least alleviate that worry if you do decide and go ahead and take it and be a part of that research. Very, very good information. So I want
Thank
to
you.
find out that, no problem. What would you want to say to those who are watching, whether a lupus warrior or someone who's saying maybe I have it, this information sounds pretty similar to home. What would you want others to know about lupus and your life living with lupus?
So I think I would want to say to people who think they're, experiencing similar symptoms, or they just don't know. It doesn't even have to be lupus related. It could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
If you think something's up, you really should, as I said, I'm beginning to learn this now. You should learn to listen to your body. You
Right.
know better than anybody when
Mm-hmm.
something is right and when something is wrong. I'm the
Absolutely.
queen of, oh, it's nothing, and brush it off, and it's not that bad. And yeah, I do. I have a very high tolerance for pain and whatnot, but that wasn't, always the right idea. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
would I have been diagnosed sooner? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think I would have maybe made different choices about how much I was pushing myself, because
Mm-hmm.
the extent I was pushing myself was definitely putting me at greater risk of other flare-ups happening much more frequently. So yeah, that's one thing to tell everybody. You're questioning something, ask. And if you don't like the answers, or you feel like people are brushing you off, ask somebody else.
Yes.
It's important that, you're not being a hypochondriac or anything like that. You
Mm-hmm.
need to know what, you're experiencing, and nobody knows better than you do.
Yes.
I think for people like who look at people who like me who have lupus, it is a silent, well, not, and I wouldn't say silent. It's not a visible disease. It's not like, oh, you're in a wheelchair, or some people are, but especially in the beginning stages, you're not you don't see things on people the way you would in some other cases. It's not visible, and that doesn't mean it's not there.
Right. Right.
A lot of people, as I said, my own family too, they forget sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just asking questions, ask questions. I don't
Mm-hmm.
mind when people ask me questions, and I'm sure other lupus patients don't either. If
Mm-hmm.
you just ask and say, hey, well, what is this like? Or what is this about? And why do you have that rash? Or why do you have to be covered up
So
in the sun?
you are okay with being asked that, because some people may say, I don't want to be rude. I don't want to feel like I'm intruding.
I feel like I would rather people, for me anyway, I would rather people ask,
Right.
because then there's an understanding, and then there's, an awareness that's brought. And
Mm-hmm.
the more people do know, the more it's, getting this out there and making people aware of what could be or what is.
Yeah.
And I feel like
And to
that's
know that
really
it's not
beneficial.
contagious, because I think a lot of people may be like, can I catch it? No, you cannot.
Yeah, it's funny, I can't go. It's another thing I didn't mention. I can't go for manicures anymore
Mm-hmm.
because of the sores on my fingers sometimes, or whatever. But when I was going for manicures, they were like a little bit at first, like, oh, is that gonna, spread or anything like that? I'm like, no, it's not contagious for you. For me, it is,
Yeah.
but not for you. And it'll spread on myself. But yeah, I can't even do that anymore. Like little things I never thought about before. I'm like, I can't go for a manicure anymore. That's not good.
Right.
um,
Right.
but yeah, and I think it's just a matter of asking people and just being patient, and you know let that person do what they got to do. We're not being lazy, we're not being like giving up. I feel sometimes that people think we're giving up, or we're just being lazy, and it's an excuse
Mm-hmm.
not to go places, or it's an excuse not to do things. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not that at all. I would do anything to have that energy that I used to have,
Absolutely.
uh do what I used to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Miss Caspar, this is why it's important to share, even a day in the life, because your day in, a day in your life is completely different and will look different for many of us. And I think, as you mentioned, sometimes we're looking from the outside, and even family members and loved ones who know you've been diagnosed still forget sometimes. So I think that constant reminder, as best as we can, is actually helpful, so that, others can be aware that I am here. This is a part of me. It's not fully who I am. It is a part of who I am. But understand as well that because of this, it limits my ability to do a lot of things that you're normally used to seeing me doing, because, there's nothing you can do. So,
And I feel also I'm sorry, a lot of people don't realize, it's not, there's no cure.
no,
There's
oh,
treatment,
right.
there's no cure.
Mhm.
And so like when people are like, oh, when you feel better, or when you, well, not when you feel better, when you get better. I
Mhm.
like when people I'm like, I'm not gonna get better. I may have better days, but that doesn't make this go away. I'm
Wow.
always gonna be on these medications, and I'm always gonna be having to be careful. It's not going to change at this point. There is no cure for it. So
And I
it's
can only imagine, just even thinking about that, what that may feel like to know that this is life, you
yeah,
know?
it's a different way of living. It's an adjustment in everything, in every single thing that you do. It has to be adjusted. And I think in the beginning, I was like, oh, I'll overcome that. I could beat
Right.
this. It's not going
Positive,
to
yeah.
feel. It took a while, but eventually I was like, yeah, I gotta chill out.
Mhm.
That's really where it came from. But it's also been really helpful. I found like on different Facebook groups.
Yes.
There's one called Benlista Buddies, and there's another one called Lupus and Me, and oh, there's a bunch of them. I can't remember offhand, but I'm on, I've joined all of those groups, and they're all anonymous groups, and they're private,
Okay.
and not anonymous, they're private. And they've been so helpful because there are people just like me on there
Mm-hmm.
who ask questions like, oh, anybody's experiencing this? Has anybody tried this? Anybody tried this medication? Whatever it is. Have you had these side effects? And you're like, wow, these are people who are experiencing everything that I'm experiencing. And they
Absolutely.
know and that I'm not crazy. And you know, so many things I thought I was crazy about. And it's not me. It's common. Even our doctors aren't aware of it until
Right,
you
right.
mention, like, we were all discussing it. A lot of people have this, and then the doctors become more aware of it as well. So those have been very beneficial.
Awesome. I love the fact that you have a community of support that, like, people who are like you, who are in the same situation with you, you're able to talk and share things that you experience each and every day, and to help to reassure you, you know what I mean, helps to reassure you that you're not in it alone, that you do have support on both ends, both those who are warriors as well, and those who are here supporting you guys as warriors. So, thank you so much. I you don't even know, you have just landed me with a lot of information on this, and I'm really hoping that we are, impacting and will be, spreading awareness about lupus, and that many who have not been knowledgeable about this, will definitely be able to learn more and continue to spread, so that one day there will be a cure. It's not too late. One day there
I
will
hope you're
definitely be a cure.
right.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you
So,
for bringing this awareness. I think this is such an important project, and I'm really, happy that you're doing this, and I'm really, glad that I was able to share out, and I, hope that helps others as well.
absolutely. You have been amazing, and it was so great to have you. I definitely thank you for being here, a part of Underneath Her Skin. And if you've been with us and you're here on this journey, please like, share, and subscribe. And definitely send us a purple heart in the comment section to let us know that you are in support of spreading lupus awareness. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Ms. Casbar. Continue being great and continue blooming and flying like that beautiful butterfly behind you. Yes, the symbol for lupus awareness. And it's purple, we're purple month. It's day, month, whatever it may be, but that's how you can also share support or show support, that you're supporting lupus. So thank you so much again, Ms. Casbar. It's been delightful. Hopefully we will do this again. Maybe you can come back on and let me know how the study turned out, and yes, definitely, how you're managing with that. Guys, thank you so much for joining. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe here at Underneath Her Skin. We welcome you to this community. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye-bye. Bye, Ms. Casbar.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.